how do you remain focused? What do you do? Do you have a daily plan? As you're doing your Master of Commerce?
It's necessary. So I think just personality-wise, in terms of my core strengths, being organized is one of the things that like it's key for me. So I do have like a daily plan that today I'm going to study chapters this to that. Today I'm going to make sure that I at least look at this particular thing. But I think with research, it can be straining. There are days where you don't want to look at that survey data, or you don't want to read all these prior academic journals that have been written before, or you just feel tired. So the one key thing I always do is that like I remind myself why I'm doing what I'm doing. Why am I doing research? What is the core goal? What is the cause for which I am fighting for as a researcher?
Come on.
So I think that keeps me going. Also having people hold you accountable. So I have friends who know how passionate I am, but when I'm feeling down, I'll call them and say, hey dude, like I'd rather watch series right now. And they'll be like, girl, do you remember that day we were sitting at that park and you said to me, this is how you want to make change in the country? Well, it starts there. This is the building block. So it's reminding myself like this is the building block towards it. Of course I do take breaks. Of course I do spend time with people who make me laugh or challenge me, just to remember that like there's more to life. But always I keep focused on the goal. I write it down, I paste it on my wall so that I remember that Sibahle, you are a budding health economist. Each day is a building block towards it.
Yeah. No, that's very good, by the way. That's very good. I think it's very important to, when you're entering masters or anything you're doing, to have reason. Right. So I liked what you said there, where you were saying you need to remind yourself of the reasoning why you're doing it. I think it's one of the most important things.
It's key.
It's one of the lessons that I've learned, and I think for anybody who does postgrad studies, that's something they need to really keep in mind, that it's very important. We're gonna speak about something I'm excited about right now, which is the South Africa Washington International program, which you were a part of.
Yes.
I think you were a part of it in 2013.
Correct.
And basically you worked with a non-profit organization after as a team manager, which is brilliant, by the way, Sibahle.
Thank you so much.
So I want you to tell us about it and what have you learned about being part of this particular program?
Sure. Okay, just to give background. So the South Africa Washington International Program is a leadership development program that seeks to inspire and prepare young people of South Africa to be leaders in their country, depending on their whatever field they're in, whether it's commerce, whether it's law, whether it's economic development, wherever you feel like you will be impactful. The program seeks to inspire you, to prepare you, to equip you to be a stronger individual. So part of the program is spending 5 weeks in Washington, D.C., where you get professional exposure at an internship. So I was at in various...
5 weeks?
5 weeks. So during the June-July university holiday. So it was 5 weeks in Washington, D.C. During the day, I interned at the organization called Physicians for Social Responsibility, and they actually campaigned to Congress and the president to ban nuclear weapons. Because, I know. So I did research there, economic research, to look at the economic impacts and the humanitarian impacts of nuclear weapons testing. Because the big thing is that, like, when they test these bombs, they actually do it in communities where disadvantaged people live. So the radiation actually has negative health threats. So you have people with leukemia, women giving birth to kids with deformed body parts. Like, there's all these other aspects of nuclear.
This is from the nuclear weapons.
So you think that nuclear weapons is just like war or defense. But the economic and the health impacts are detrimental, and no one ever tells that story. So I was very honored, honored and privileged to be exposed to a very interesting side of the United States, but also to look at that and realize that, oh my gosh, in each and every country, there's an issue, there are things that need to be addressed, and it's important to make sure that the relevant people know what's going on. So that was the one aspect of the program. And then in the evenings, we'd attend panel discussions and conferences. And the best part of that, we got to actually meet congressmen and U.S. senators. And,
oh my gosh.
yeah, philanthropists and leaders in Washington, D.C., in New York, who are effecting change in their community. So just ask them questions like, how did you handle this situation? How do you make sure even when you're at the top, you don't forget that where you are standing, you are literally standing to serve the nation. How do you keep your eyes, how do you keep your heart focused on that?
Oh yeah, that's very true.
So the experience essentially is to obviously open up your mind, expose you to corporate America, and then with all those skills you come back and give back. So when, as the team, so it was a team of 18, when we came back to South Africa, we had to use everything we had learned to implement a community service project in Robertson, which is a community here in the Western Cape. And we did like a mini sub where we actually also exposed the students to, they didn't go to the US, but like they did get exposed to opportunities and things that they can do after high school, which was really exciting. In terms of the biggest learning with SAUP, I think SAUP, number one, made me confident that like I am capable as a young woman from the Eastern Cape. I'm capable of making the change that, you know, I want to. And also the importance of working in teams. To change the nation, we will not achieve it on an individual basis.
Sure.
We need to work in teams. So my
That's
team
true.
was diverse. We had Afrikaners, we had Indians, we had colors, it was like it was a South Africa mixed into 18 people.
Yeah.
And we clashed a lot, so we had to hash out a lot of issues like, what do we think about the other? What do we think about race relations, religion? So it was good to actually be honest and be in a space where you can be yourself and ask the tough questions, and then from there say, guys, how do we move on? How do we move on and still work together and make sure that work is done? So those were the biggest two learnings for me, that I am capable, that working in teams is so important, and also to realize that service is it's something you never rest from. For the rest of your life, if you call yourself a leader, in one way or the other, you need to be serving your community. So those were the 3 key learnings from SAUP.
Come on. Wow, it sounds like a really good experience, by the way.
Amazing.
And it's amazing that, like, a young lady from Mthatha,
I know, right?
can go to Washington. Did you meet Obama?
Unfortunately not. It was during I think he was actually in Kenya or somewhere in Africa for Yali at that time.
Oh, okay, because that's when that was happening.
Yeah, so when we were that side, he was... Yeah,
how dare he?
I know.
How dare he? I'll call him later. I'll speak to him. How can people get involved at SAUP?
So SAUP is open to the following universities: University of Pretoria, University of Cape Town, I'll explain to you why, University of Stellenbosch, and University of the Western Cape. Reason why is because SAUP approached different universities in the country, and those are the ones that responded and said, we will support you with helping to recruit students.
Oh, okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
So
was NMMU approached?
Yeah. So a lot of universities were approached. So how it works? So there's a website, www.saup.org. But during the year, SAUP is on those campuses with posters up and recruits every year. So actually now they're about to recruit the team of 19 to go to Washington, D.C. in the next 2 weeks, I think. The team will be selected. So it's for young people who are passionate about it. You don't feel like you need to be a Sibahle closer to apply. It's open to anyone who's passionate, wants to make a difference, and is applying to SAUP to be placed out of their comfort zone, to learn more, and to be equipped to be more influential citizen.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. And then another thing which we're a part of, which is really great, it's the One Young World Summit. You're a delegate there. And the One Young World Summit basically gathers the brightest young minds together basically to make a positive impact, correct?
Yes.
Yes, that's what it is. So it's all about making a global change. What is the one global change or shift which you think needs to happen in the world right now?
That's a very brilliant question. I think so. Because it's one thing. What I'm going to say is that one thing that needs to change in the world is our mindsets. Our mindsets are everything when it comes to things happening. Even if you would say to me that you have this brilliant idea to implement a certain program or kill crime or beat corruption, unless the mindsets of the people or the parties involved change or aligned with that particular vision or that particular program, there won't be any change. I'll give you a very simple example. So one of the guys I met at the One Young World, the guy from Sierra Leone, a lot of girls in Sierra Leone during their period, they don't go to school because they don't have access to sanitary towels. So he, as a guy, believing that every human being has a right to education and to get it fully, made a way of making sanitary towels using banana peel to create. So him, a guy, he was like, I'm tired of my sisters not being able to go to school and missing classes, so I'm going to make that happen. So it took the mindset of a male believing that something can be done, even if it's not personally a cause that's necessarily directly affecting him. But because his mindset was every human being must gain access to university, to schooling, he went out for that. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I think for me, the one thing that needs to change in the world is mindset, that people must believe that they're capable of doing anything. People must believe that they can go to school, do well, and be a success. People can believe that they don't need to depend on a social grant for income. People's mindsets need to change in order. Even economically, when we talk about policy, we always say that how a policy affects a change depends on people's expectations. Yeah? So the success of a policy being implemented depends on how people will respond to it. So if people have the right mindset and believe that, okay, we are on board with this positive policy, then it will be effective. So it applies with any other type of program or any other thing where you say, this is how we're going to change things. Unless people's mindsets are on board with that change or with that move.
So we've all got to be of like a united mind.
Exactly.
Basically. Yeah, exactly. But I like the example you made of the guy who basically,
it was amazing. I was
made
so
the
inspired.
Change himself. It's like be the change you want to see.
Yes, and now his sisters are going to school every day. They're keeping up. Because it affected the girls' marks. Because if you miss a few days of school and then next week it's the test, you weren't at school to learn that stuff. So you'd find that girls were doing less well than the males in classes. So it's a very interesting but real example of what a positive mindset can achieve.
Amazing. Now we'll just do a fun part of the interview.
Yes. Yes.
You like fun, right?
Yes.
Yes. So if you'd be any cartoon character, who would you be? And why?
Oh my gosh. But this cartoon was from back in the day. No, 90s kids should know this. There's this girl called Pepper Ann.
Yeah!
Pepper Ann had red hair.
Pepper Ann.
She's the coolest in 7th grade.
Pepper Ann.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm that guy who's going, no. Like, I don't know the lyrics, but it's like.
So, like, she was very, like, because in the cartoons, whenever you see girls, it was always very much, like, long hair, pink, wearing a dress a certain way, and then there comes this girl Pepper Ann with the red hair, wears glasses, she'll wear whatever random thing, and she's just herself. And I think that's what I like about that. She is herself. And I think for me, in life, in everything that I do, whether I become the next Minister of Finance or the next Minister of Health, that I will still be Sibahle and say, this is me.
Power to Pepper Ann.
Power to Pepper Ann.